Good afternoon, Trinity Youth. So good to see you again. Um, this is day 2 of our devotional series. I call it COVID-19 Drift. We're going to be talking about Hebrews 2 verses 1. It says, "Therefore we must pay much closer attention to what we have heard, lest we drift away from it." So I don't really know where you are and if you're keeping up with the news, but apparently there's this virus going around and you should basically stay inside. I think they might even have closed some schools and stuff, and it's become pretty crazy. I was thinking about what that means for society, and I'm watching and listening to the news and hearing about how they're closing down different businesses that are non-essential in order to limit the spread of this. I mean, I look at Trinity Church, and we're not having our church service in person anymore on Sundays, and all the ministries are being shut down and paused, and we're turning to social media and other platforms like YouTube in order for us to continue to communicate and to reach out to the church congregation, which is a pretty good plan, right? I mean, we've got a lot of technology that can make a huge difference in during this period of quarantine. But wait, what you're telling me is that there's no church on Sunday, there's no youth on Friday, there's no young adults on Monday, and there's no Bible study on Wednesday. And whenever we do have anything, it means that it'll be on YouTube? Well, I guess that means technically you can watch whatever is posted whenever you want. It means that you can watch certain things in an hour, in 3 hours, after supper today, or tomorrow, or whenever, sometime soon. And what can end up happening is we just continue to neglect and put off spending time with God as well. I had Michael Linton and Mike Renee over, and we spent a bit of time hanging out. They wanted to watch TV, and so they had come over to my house. You know, I have a pretty decent sized living room, and so we were gonna kind of spread out and just watch some TV. But as soon as they walked in the door, I was overwhelmed by the state of affairs in my kitchen. I'm talking about dishes everywhere. So I just awkwardly left them to watch TV in the living room, and I just went into the kitchen to kind of take care of what I needed to take care of. When I went in there, I was overwhelmed by the dishes everywhere. Just dirty dishes as far as the eye can see. And so I just kind of started washing, and I just wouldn't stop. I would wash and wash and then dry and dry and then put away and then continue washing again as much as the rack could hold. But I was motivated by the fact that I had these two guys in my house, and they're going to walk around and be like, "Man, Dane is disgusting." One thing led to another. Next thing you know, I'm in the bathroom cleaning. I'm in the tub scrubbing. And I had let this go on for so long. I had neglected cleaning my kitchen and my bathroom for so long that it ended up in me being overwhelmed by how much I had to do. It took forever to clean instead of a short period of time because I put it off because I was so focused on work and spending downtime just watching TV and relaxing once I got home. We're standing right now in front of this quarantine, and we're at two different ends of the spectrum. There's some people that are thinking that this is going to last literally for 2 weeks and that's it. And then there's people on the other end of the spectrum who think that this is going to last till like September or something. Personally, no matter how you slice it, what I see is that we're standing in front of a lot of free time, a lot of time where we can spend with God in prayer and in reading the Word, a lot of opportunity that we have to reach out to other members in the church community and stay in contact with them and encourage them and edify them. But what we could do is also put it all off and say, well, I'll have time to tackle this up next week. I have time to spend in prayer and in the Word in 2 days. I'll make a whole day out of it. And we just keep pushing and pushing. And then you end up with a situation very similar to my kitchen. Hebrews 2:1. Let us therefore pay more attention to what we have heard, lest we drift away from it. When we downplay our Christianity in these times, saying, well, you know, I listen to a lot of Christian music, and so that's kind of my God time, or you know, I watch the Sunday church service, and you know, so now I'm good for the week. I'm all charged up on Jesus. I'm good. I don't need to do anything else. It means that we get too comfy with drifting away. It means that we get way too comfortable with spending one time a week with God, or spending very minimal time a week with God. And we keep pushing and pushing and pushing it off, saying, well, we'll come out of this sooner than later, and then I'll kind of go back into my regular spiritual routine. Colossians 2 verses 6-7 says, therefore, as you receive Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, just as you were taught, abounding in thanksgiving. This period right now, with less community in terms of presence and with less accountability, we can find ourselves polishing off a season a day on Netflix and slacking on things that matter, like prayer and devotion time. My challenge for you is that would not be the case, that you would use this time to press in, to make sure that you are planted and embedded in a solid foundation that is Jesus, in terms of prayer and in terms of growth through the word. I pray that you would continue to seek Jesus first during this time, and that we would not just let this kind of be something that we push to the side and promise ourselves that we'll deal with later. Hope you guys aren't going too crazy staying at home. I encourage you to read the Bible. Follow up with the verses that we read. Read Hebrews chapter 3 and Hebrews chapter 2 and Colossians chapter 2 as well. And see what God has to share with you in his word. Have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow.